61 years, Ralph F. Burns served Alpha Sigma Phi. His 40 years as Executive Secretary and his continued dedication and service will forever stand as a shining example of what it truly means to live the principles and values of our beloved old gal.
I've been around to Rush, and I came back to the house and was hanging a raincoat or something up, and this Alpha Sigma Phi brother, by the name of Jim Williams, he said, "How are things going, Ralph?" I said, "Fine." I said, "I'm a little confused, though." I said, "I've been offered bids to 2 or 3 fraternities, but nobody has said anything to me about Alpha Sigma Phi." He said, "Here's the badge."
And in many ways, he had become like a grandfather to me. We got along real well. We laughed a lot together. We debated about the fraternity together. But, you know, he always went back to the brotherhood.
The words Christian gentleman always strike me as a description of Ralph. An extraordinary man. A person who touched the lives of thousands and thousands of people in a very real and a very deep way.
Under the guidance of Brother Burns, Alpha Sigma Phi navigated some of her toughest times: the Great Depression, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. During the Second World War, with chapters closing all across the nation, Burns took a second job and ran the fraternity from his home. He made sure that when the war ended, Alpha Sigma Phi would be there to welcome her brothers home. In life, Ralph Burns' commitment to living out Alpha Sigma Phi's principles and values ensured that he would touch and enrich the lives of undergraduates. But Burns had a profound impact on everyone he came in contact with, from family to community to the interfraternal world. He served as president of the Fraternity Executives Association, president of the College Fraternity Editors Association, was awarded the North American Interfraternity Conference's highest honor, the Gold Medal, received the FEA's Distinguished Service Award and the Lambda Chi Alpha Order of Interfraternity Service Award.
One of the things that a lot of people don't know too is the way Dad was in the community where we lived in Delaware, Ohio. People who are not Alpha Sigs hold him in the same high regard that members of the fraternity did, and that was because he lived the rituals. He did it in every aspect of his life, not just with members of Alpha Sigma Phi, but with friends in our community and serving with us in our family.
People sometimes ask, well, what was it like being, having Ralph Burns as your dad? Well, he was our dad. And so, he was our dad way before he was Ralph Burns, if that makes any sense. He was a great father, and way before we really understood that much about Alpha Sigma Phi.
Many people do not realize how Ralph Burns entered the Omega chapter. There were only 15 of us who had the honor to be with Ralph on that evening. It was the fall of 1993. It was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the Marriott, the Airport Marriott, where we were there for a weekend. Both the Grand Council members, the staff, and the Foundation board members were all together on a planning retreat. The Saturday evening, after we had meetings all day, Saturday evening we all sat together, the Grand Council, the staff, and the Foundation board sat together and had a meal. And at the end of that meal, Grand Senior President Skip Parks asked us to go around the table, youngest to oldest, and kind of tell what the fraternity meant to us. It was Ralph's turn to speak. And there was this hush that came across the whole table as Ralph spoke. And Ralph spoke about what the fraternity meant to him, that how blessed he was that he was able to be a part of Alpha Sigma Phi for all of these years, that how blessed he was that he was able to meet all of these brothers. He told us that he was a millionaire, not in dollars and cents, but in the brotherhood that he valued as riches to him. He talked to each and every one of us personally about something special that he remembered about our relationships. It was very important and very dear to each of us as he went around talking to each of us. He talked about his obituary. He let us know that he had just finished writing his obituary and that that was in place. And it talked about Alpha Sigma Phi and the importance of Alpha Sigma Phi. He talked about his memorial service, and Ralph in his way with his crooked finger pointed to us and said, I want that to be a celebration. I don't want people there crying and missing me. I want people celebrating my life. He talked about how he was blessed with his family and how pleased he was, and on his two, how Jonathan and Bruce were fine men and were members of Alpha Sigma Phi. That was a very important thing. And he cherished that. And his dear wife Anne, how she just she was the light of his life. And then at the end, as he wrapped up, he said something very special. He said, I just want all of you to know that Alpha Sigma Phi is in great hands today. At that time, Ralph ended his talk. We turned off the lights to view a leadership video. And not more than a minute into that leadership video, we heard what we thought was snoring. We thought that Ralph had fallen asleep. And when we turned the lights on, Ralph had died. Ralph had entered the Omega chapter and had a massive heart attack, probably 10 to 20 seconds after he stopped speaking about Alpha Sigma Phi.
I think that if there's anything that I try to remember from Joanne as she talked to me about Ralph, it would be that he always remembered that this was a very emotional brotherhood for everybody, and everybody had a different emotional connection. And that running the fraternity is not easy. It's not easy as chapter president. It's not easy as an advisor. It's not easy as a Greek professional at the university level. And it's not easy at the national level. Because you're dealing with something that's so sensitive to people and so emotionally charged for people that there's a lot of different opinions, and some of them are very, very strong. And Ralph had a way of kind of plowing through some of those differences that people had, and his compass through all of that was the undergraduates.